Hey yo, welcome to the channel review of the F1 Manager 2022. We already did previous episodes regarding the driver market and driver contracts itself, and how to perhaps include the lower formulas or junior teams or whatever in the future, also for the staff. Let's now go to the car itself. So if you go to the warehouse, you can improve the chassis, front wing, rear wing, side pods, underfloor, and suspension. So basically, all there is. There's nothing, for example, to improve electronics in the car that could help to make your car better. And you can, I don't know, try to find loopholes in the car on the development that could make it illegal. Or I don't know. These things that, for example, in Motorsport Manager you do have, but you don't have here. On the cards part development, you cannot do that. You can only choose what to develop, put how many engineers, and develop it, assuming that everybody will make it strictly legal. But you cannot try to develop other parts of the car that are not these ones. How about you want to, I don't know, develop a new system to change the tires, or I don't know, air intake, radiation, cooling, or whatever. You cannot improve this. So, like for example, for the side pods, if you wanted to improve side pods, they should give you the option. For example, you have the Ferrari kind of side pods, you have the Red Bull kind of side pods, and you have the Mercedes kind of side pods. What if I am Williams and I want to copy the design of Mercedes of the side pods? I cannot do that. They will assume that my team will always make it in a way. Why can I not choose that? Or the front wing, why I cannot choose the style of the front wing? They will just design it in whatever thing they want and just improve it. But what if I don't want to? What if I wanted to have some impact on this, right? Because the regulations change from season to season. Every season you can vote at more or less the beginning of the season, like after the third or fourth race, you can start voting. Sometimes there's small changes, sometimes there are big changes. What if when there are big changes, you could actually have impact on the car design, and you wanted to make it this way or the other way? Maybe your engineer can tell you this way is better, let's do it this way. But maybe if you have another engineer, they will tell you this way is better, right? I don't know. And for example, I am in the year 2020. Let me see what year it is. 2028, right? In 2026, there should be a big engine regulation change. I am Williams. I am not a constructor, but whatever. But what if I had the Mercedes or Red Bull or Ferrari, right, or Alpine, which are the four constructors? What if I could actually improve the engine, right? Because the engine performance is exactly the same every season so far. The Renault is the cheapest, but it's the worst engine. Then you have the Mercedes, which is the most expensive one, but it's not the best. You have Red Bull powertrains, which is the second, right? And then you have Ferrari, which is the most expensive and perhaps the best engine. Why this doesn't change as years go by? Like in 2026, there is supposed to be a regulation change. There are new constructors coming into the game in the real life, but in the game they are not coming. Audi and Porsche are not here. Why not? I understand that perhaps when they made the game, it was not there. But now that Audi has been announced, why they don't make an update in the game that includes Audi for 2026? Perhaps me as Williams, I want to choose Audi as my engine supplier and maybe be a constructor with them, and I can develop the engine, right? To try to make it the best. Why I cannot do this? This, for me, it's at least one part. Or the gearbox, for example, it's always the same. Why I cannot develop the gearbox or the ERS system? I don't know. These are some things that me as a player, I would like to have some input, other than just going through the season and developing parts of the car and just buying the engine, right? What if I wanted to be a constructor? What if I wanted to make a deal with BMW, for example? I don't know, just giving ideas. Why they don't bring this into the game? There should be things happening other than just managing the team and the drivers. Or the races. I mean, you can just play F1 22 and drive yourself, create your own team, and right. But things should be happening. Like I said, the engine suppliers coming into the game. I don't know. Other teams changing the engine supplier. What if Aston Martin suddenly doesn't want Mercedes engines and decides to change to Renault? I don't know. Just giving ideas. Things that could be improved in the game. Facilities, yeah, you can develop everything. They get obsolete from every now and then, but in theory you will start making money, so you can spend it and refurnish everything. I understand that everything gets outdated quite fast in F1, so yeah, no problems with that. Operation facilities, tour center, weather, I understand. Racing simulator, yeah, but you cannot interact with this to try to make the driver improve, or I don't know. You cannot put a driver spend 40 hours a week in the simulator. You cannot do that. And the final thing that I would like to also discuss, for example, where is it? It should be here, right? Sponsorship. So you have season balance, monthly balance, cost cap, and sponsorship. Sponsorship, you cannot decide the sponsorship. Like, let's say I kick Latifi out and Sofina is not in the team anymore, right? In the picture, I still see Sofina in the Williams car. Why I don't have an option of sponsors? Let's say, I don't know. I understand that maybe you have to pay to have the names of real companies in the game, right? So make them fake. Instead of having Coca-Cola, I don't know, make something that says Fofa-Cola or something like this, right? Or just create a name for I don't know, a Chinese brand or Japanese brand or whatever. Have different things where you can choose that will give you some money for some expectations, right? Let's say I'm Williams, if I sign a contract with, I don't know, Coca-Cola, and they expect me to win the championship, but I don't win it, they will break the contract and they will not pay me the money. Something like this. I don't know. Like, why I cannot have the choice to choose the sponsorships? Because you cannot. You cannot try to put stickers on the car or whatever. I remember there was a F1 Manager game from 1998 season. I used to play that game, and that game, you could do that. There were some fixed main sponsors, for example. Instead of West, you had East. Instead of Marlboro, you would have another name. But you had some sponsorships that you could choose. So if I were the team Jordan and I was going up the ranks, and then suddenly East wanted to sponsor my car, which would give me a huge amount of money, I could do it, and you would see that in my car, you would see the sticker of East on it, and you could actually choose different sponsors for different parts of the car that would give you X amount of money for that. Well, why can you not do that here? Like, what if I want to change the color of the car instead of making Williams blue with a new sponsor that is, I don't know, whatever. Let's say East again, even though you're gonna have tobacco anymore, right? Let's say I want to have, like I said, Coca-Cola, Fofa-Cola, it's red. What if I want to paint the Williams in red thanks to Fofa-Cola? I cannot do that. Right? So it doesn't make it so real. Like, these things at the beginning of the season, choosing how much merchandising you want to sell and how many events you want to make and everything, yeah, it's okay, but you don't have any influence in the sponsorship of the team. You cannot sign contracts, you cannot change the main sponsor of the team. You cannot do many things. Yeah, they just tell you how much you're gonna be gaining every season, and that's all. So just things that could be improved, in my opinion. Anyway, just one thing. And to finish with this episode, the last one, right? Standings. Yeah, you can see the standings of this season. How about if I wanted to check standings of previous seasons? Where can I see that? I cannot see that here in the standings, right? Okay, I understand this is... Where can I check the history? If I go to board, if I go to profile, you will see here that I can only check 5 years back. What did I do in 2023? I can never know. 2024, even if I click here, I cannot see what happened in the season. I am clicking, you cannot see it, but anyway, I am clicking. I can see how many points I scored, how many wins I had, pole positions, podiums. I cannot see the final standing of the team, right? I cannot see this season, I cannot see this season, I can only see what is happening, but I cannot see what the standings were at the end of that season. Like, for example, was in the F1 Manager from the 98th season that I mentioned before. You could see what you did in every season, what each driver scored in every, like the final standing of each driver. Why I don't have access to that? It's a very simple thing to have the record, not just the previous 5 years, right? I mean, I don't know, just little things to comment on for me that could improve the game experience rather than, right? Also, like I said, including the engines, why I don't have new races or changing the order of the races as in the calendar, right? Anyway, I think more or less that's what I am covering, mainly, that things don't happen. You cannot choose the sponsorship, you cannot change the sponsorship, right? The engine suppliers are always the same, the performance is always the same of the engines. You cannot develop the engines even after 2026 or whatever. You change regulations every season, but the engines are always the same, everything is always the same. This could be improved. It's the first game, of course, but I think these things should have been thought, because it's experience of the player that could change the whole gaming thing, right? I don't know, like this, it's kind of the same thing every single season. You see the same teams with the same staff, with the same engine suppliers. Engines are always the same. No big regulation changes, and when they are. I mean, you can see, for example, that Red Bull, I am the only team that should not be there. Red Bull is always there, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine. But then you see that the other teams are more or less where they should be, according to where it started in 2022. Right? I don't know. Just some humble opinion. So I hope these videos can get viewed and we get some repercussions, so the next games or new patches or DLCs or whatever updates could bring this into the game.